Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing out there? My name is George Horsley. I know some of that might sound a little strange to y'all because y'all know me as Booze Fighter Jedi. I've been part of the Booze Fighter Motorcycle Club for almost 4 years. I love that organization, just as every one of you love your organization. With that being said, I grew up in Waco. I graduated from Richfield, 1985. Nobody knows where Richfield is anymore because it's the new Waco High. So when you tell people that, they're like, there's no Richfield in Waco. Yeah, it's there, but you got to be older than 40 to know anything about Richfield. Well, in part in taking on, just looking at everything that we got going on, I worked with the McLennan County Appraisal District for about 8 years. I became a registered professional appraiser with the state of Texas. And me and the existing, leadership down there did not get along. So I think it was beneficial that I left and we parted ways. And part of that was due to the fact that when I was down there, a lot of things they did were unethical. And these things affect your property values as well as my property values. And I'm pretty sure that over the couple of years, a lot of y'all have seen your property values increasing. And when you go down there to fight it, they give you some runaround as to why they have increased it. Well, a lot of that is unfair to you as a taxpayer. It's unfair to value your house that's 1980 or 1950 to a house that's built 2016. But they do these practices, and partly that they're doing these practices because we as McLennan County residents, we are paying for the lawsuits that the appraisal district lost. So that has to go to somebody. And that burden is placed upon us, which isn't fair. I mean, that's leadership. Then we look at where the commissioner court gave the appraisal district a little over $600,000 so they can make their budget. Again, that is something that affects us as McLennan County residents, and we're affected by that. It's not fair, and the fact that you have our elected leaders that are doing this shows that there's something wrong with our system. Something needs to change. I'm running for it so I can make a change. I am not part of that good old boy foundation establishment. I ride on the weekends. I have come out to many events with a lot of y'all, and I am not, owned by anybody except for that blue bike I ride. I still make payments on her. But there needs to be a change. There needs to be a change in our system. There needs to be a change into where everybody is treated equally. I've talked to a lot of taxpayers in McLennan County, and I find it odd that when they're going down to protest their taxes, that they're being valued with a house 5 miles down the road instead of houses in your own neighborhood. Well, again, that goes to where our commissioners are. If our commissioners aren't going to stand up for us, then who do we have to stand up for us? Because, let's face it, we are that individual group that they don't associate. They don't know about us. We have everyday jobs, we do everyday things, and what we do is kind of odd to them. So they don't look at us that way. I get up, I work, just like every one of y'all. And I think we ought to have fairness. I think that the system that we have right now is not fair. So, yeah. If you go to my website, not my website, but my Facebook, and I mention a lot of those things. But even more so with the fact that I'm running as a libertarian, I was going to run as a Republican. And I got the call from a good friend, Mel, who was telling me about it. And I'm like, all right, I'll take a look into it. And their fee was kind of high just to join. And it was a week and a half before Christmas. And when I asked my wife what she thought, she was like, so you're saying we're not going to have Christmas? And if any one of you guys are married, that's a trick question. And I can tell you right now, if I would have used that Christmas money to register, I'd be sleeping on somebody's couch. So my good friends with the Libertarian Party reached out to me, and we sat down and had a huge conversation, It was a good conversation. And they asked me to take their platform. And I graciously accepted it. But when you're looking at that, you know, a lot of people, and I've already heard people sit up and say, well, he's running as a libertarian. They never get it. It might be the case. Maybe this is the year that we change things. You know, I'm not asking you to look at the platform, but look at the man. I can tell you this right now. If I'm elected as your McLennan County judge over the Commissioner's Court, all this extra stuff that they're doing, all the side, you know, handshakes that they're doing, I'm not going to do it. You know, at the end of the night, I still have to be respected as a man. And when you sell your soul just to make money, you cannot be respected as a man. Going forth, there needs to be change. And only we, as a people, as a group, can make that change. You know, with the current situations, and I'm watching it, you know, in 2015, 2016, they gave us a reduction in our taxes through the Commissioner's Court. Well, for 2018, they've increased it. So why are we increasing it? You know, why are the sales in our neighborhoods not justifying a 70 or 120% increase in your property? Well, that's because, you know, we're taking care of Drew Hahn. We're taking care of what the appraisal district has messed up. We're also taking care of the Twin Peaks deal. We're paying for that. And with the remaining cases out there, who do you think is going to pay for that? It's going to be us, hands down. And they're going to justify it every kind of way. They're going to sit up and tell us everything that, you know, is hunky-dory and that it's, you know, bright-eyed and bushy, and this is what we got to do. But secretly, they will be sitting up and putting plans in place that affects us. Now, it's not going to affect them because, you know, most of the board members have several businesses. They're pulling 6 figures a year off each business, so they're doing well. They're not staying next door to you. They're not staying next door to you, or they're not staying next door to me. They're out there in the, you know, upper echelons of, you know, McLennan County, and they're resting easy. In the meanwhile, we, you, me, are having to figure out how we're going to put gas in our vehicle for the next year because property taxes are increasing. We're trying to figure out how we're going to maintain our lifestyle when we have less money but more taxes. They're not worried about that. When you look at just Waco alone, Waco is a great place. I love Waco. It's a great place. But you cannot build Waco off fast food places and hotels. You just can't. But when you're the commissioners, you have to look at what's more important for your county. You know, there are businesses that have been wanting to come to Waco, but they get shied away. You know, there was a business that wanted to take over where the Twin Peaks at, and because of the nature of the business, they were given so much, you know, crap that they said, you know what, I'll go somewhere else. And they went somewhere else. You know, we look at Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime was looking for a location to build. Their last 2 locations were, I believe, Austin and Dallas. Amazon Prime would have been a great place for Waco. It would have brought jobs. It would have changed things. But when you have individuals that make more than we make, the only thing they're concerned about is what's in their pocket and not ours. So yeah, nobody picked up on that deal. But we'll pick up on a hotel that will hire 100 people versus a major plant that can hire 1,500 and change the economic situations for a lot of people. I got problems with that. I got problems when you have an establishment that wants to keep, you know, people down. I got problems with people with an establishment that wants to make sure that, you know, that there's levels of income. It's us and them. I got problems with that. Something needs to change. You know, when you're looking at the overall issue, and I know with the Commission Court, they got a lot going on, and I don't find that they have transparency in what they're doing. I don't find that they have, you know, the honesty that we elected these individuals to partake in. You know, there's two things right now that they sidelined for after the elections, and that was the time clock deal for McLennan County and the Drury Inn that's supposed to go in downtown. Well, as some of you know, Lester Gibson is stepping down. I think he was opposed to either one of those. So the thing is, if Lester steps down, the new election comes in, they have their good old boy system going on. Somebody comes in that's their good old boy system that they've been shaking hands and washing hands with for the last couple of years. And you know what? They go ahead and they do away with the time clock deal, which basically keeps individuals that work for McLennan County honest. If you're supposed to work 40 hours a week, you should be working 40 hours a week. You shouldn't be working 10 hours a week, 20 hours at the golf course, and another 10 hours at home. It keeps you honest. I've been on a time clock all my life. There's nothing wrong with it. The Drury Inn, when they wanted to come down here and build, I believe that the commissioners wanted to give them some money to help with that. I got problems with that. I mean, we got enough things going on downtown that, of course, they're not aware. Well, they're aware of, but they turn that blind eye to it. I mean, what, $3.5 million could do a lot in a lot of neighborhoods. $3.5 million could bring in more sheriffs where we need it. I was talking to an individual. And at night, there's just not enough sheriffs to patrol all of McLennan County in the rural areas. So why are we going to bring it in? Bring in a hotel when we have our infrastructure we need to worry about. I was talking to another individual, and if you've been downtown, you know, around the silos and everything, you've seen, you know, our homeless people down there. Okay. If we're trying to build McLennan County, Waco, as a tourist attraction, or bring more people here, that's fine. That is great. But their solution for the homeless individuals is, in their planning, they're going to move them 9 blocks down on Webster. So we're moving the problem from here, and we're going to move it down, and it's going to be somebody else's problem. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't see it. But there are effective programs that are out there that could turn our homeless people around, have them make a reasonable wage, and thus not be part of a burden or be part of something there where people are looking down on them. And there shouldn't be homeless people sleeping on the streets in Waco. There are enough abandoned buildings downtown that, yeah, we're spending money to build it up. Then why don't we spend money to home these people and get them off the streets? Why don't we spend money to bring programs in that's going to help these people, you know, instead of just looking down at them or passing by them? Some of these homeless people are our vets. I'm sorry. In no way in the world should any vet be on the streets homeless. As a commissioner, that should be your first and foremost thing, is to take care of the people that took care of you so you could have your rights. And I've seen the vets. We've all seen them. Why is there nothing in place to take care of our vets? Why is there nothing in place to take care of our homeless people? Because you have individuals on the court that they're more concerned about, I'm going to rub your hand, shake your hand, than what's going on with everybody else. No. I can guarantee you they don't want somebody like myself being on their board. Because I will tell them, hell no, we ain't doing it. Next issue. Because we have to have somebody that's going to represent us. And right now we don't. They represent each other. You know, they're making sure that, hey, my buddy over here, you know, he's going to get this position. I'm going to help him build this. I'm going to help him do that. No, you help me build this. You know, I'm going to help you do that. And so that money just keeps circling around in a little circle. And nobody benefits from it but them. When the appraisal district lost 3 major cases, and it cost the taxpayers, I think, a little over $2 million. The leadership in that organization should have been fired. If any of y'all lost $1,000 at your job, would you have that job next week? But because of our commissioners, we have one commissioner that's part of the appraisal district board, because they're good old boys, we'll take care of it. We're going to watch out for you. That's a problem. You know, and I want to say with the leadership at the appraisal district that the appraiser, chief appraiser, has probably gotten an increase in his salary. But there's a lot of other things that have gone on. They had to hire an independent company to come in to do their auditing in their books because things just didn't match up. But instead of our commissioner of courts having the cojones to sit up and say, you know what, you're done. Let's find somebody else. Well, they shake each other's hands. Hey, it's going to be all right. We'll figure it out. I'm sorry, I'm not in favor of that. You know, that would have been me, and he approached me, I would ask for his resignation right then and there. Because you're not supporting the people. And if you're watching our tax increase year after year, it's not fair. I've had to go down and fight for my own taxes. And I don't stay in a lavish house, you know, it's a little one-story over in North Waco. It's me. I love it. I love my neighbors. But when you compare my 1946 house to a 2010 brick house and saying that it's fair valuation, I've done this for a little over 10 years. I'm pretty sure it's not fair valuation. You know, I work in Travis County as an appraiser. I've watched the valuations down there come in high, and I've watched, you know, properties increase 10, 20, 30%. And when they've done that, they have the data to support that. And that's one reason why I really like working in Austin, because they have the data to support it. But they also, if the data doesn't support raising it and it supports giving a decrease, they decrease it. Because it's the fair and it's the honest thing to do. How many of y'all know somebody or yourself that have gone down to the appraisal district to fight your taxes and nothing was done? Even the evidence that you brought to them, they didn't consider it. Nothing was done. And you felt like you were kind of railroaded because they sustained the value? Yeah, it's happening. Part of that is due to leadership that we have right now with our commissioners' courts and our appraisal district. I'm not in favor of it. I don't like it. And it does need to change because it affects all of us. I know right now, you know, with those of us that were at Twin Peaks, you know, I was one of them, that all of us are basically branded as a gangster. We're gang members now. You know, I'm sorry, I think what I see is a bunch of hardworking individuals that love to get together on, you know, through the week and on the weekends, you know, ride on two wheels and just have a good time. That does not make us a gangster. But when you're watching our leaders push the narrative that we're gangsters, it's a problem. And when you look at our commissioner courts that are giving money to our DA to finish out the first Twin Peaks case, how many more times are our courts going to give money to him to finish out cases? How much more are we going to be responsible for paying? I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. I think the whole deal has created a huge stigma on McLennan County. And their way of dealing with it is just don't say nothing, but just walk away and just let it go. It'll go away after a while. You know, those bikers, they'll die down after a while. No, they won't keep going. They'll die down after a while. Well, they hadn't died down, and it's being noticed. As your commissioner court judge, I can tell you right now, I will not approve any funding for any Twin Peaks case. I will reject it. I will not approve it. It will not happen. I might be the only vote, but I guarantee you, I will not vote for anything that depicts us in a negative manner. And that also includes any programs where they're profiling us. I'm not gonna do that. Because right now, that's what they're working on. They're working on a way to, they're kind of rowdy, they're speaking, but you know what? We got to let things die down. Then we'll go after them again. No, if you're going to do that, you don't need to be part of the system. That is not fixing the system. That is breaking it, and that's creating an even more divide between us and the local people. In closing, what I like to say is that, my name is George Horsley. I am Boost Fighter Jedi. I'm a proud member of McLennan County. I want to represent you and give you a voice in what is going on with our county. I want to be here for you. I want to make sure that there's truth and transparency and accountability with our leaders. Because right now there is none. I guarantee, is there anybody that can actually raise their hand and sit up and say, I trust our leadership in McLennan County? I can't. I don't trust them from, today or tomorrow. But we need accountability. We need somebody there that's going to ripple the pond and make things apparent. It's not going to be closed doors. If I'm elected, I'm going to tell you what's going on. I'm going to tell you what they're voting on. I'm going to tell you what they're trying to do. I'm going to tell you what they're trying to increase on the taxes. I'm going to tell you. Because we need to know. And if we don't know, the only thing they keep doing is perpetuating it and keeping it going. Now, mind you, there's some good programs that, they're trying to bring in. There's some revenue builders that they're trying to bring. But are they completely honest about everything? No. And when you look at the leadership that supports giving more money for an event that was awful, for an event that could have been stopped at any time before it got bad, you have to question the leadership. With 122 cases out there, with our commissioner courts giving them money, that comes out of your pocket. But I would like your vote. I would like you to go to my Facebook page and like it, share my videos. I'll be campaigning more. I'll get some signs out, and I just want to make a change. So, like I say, my name is George Horsley. I am Boost Fighter Jedi.